Hey, this is Michael Wang. Today we're gonna install Oracle WebCenter Portal. So let's look at the steps it takes to get it installed. So first we need to install the software. So to install the software, there are three software need to be installed. So we need to install the JDK. So here we are installing Oracle WebCenter Portal 12.2. So we need to install the JDK 1.8. So after install the JDK, we install the WebLogic, which is the middleware infrastructure. So then after that, we install the WebCenter Portal. So after we install the software, so we need to run the RCU to create the users and schemas and tables. So after that, we can then create the domain. So we run the config.sh. Alright, so where to download the software? It's called, so if you just search Google. So let's say you search Google for the Java. So you search downloading Java. So you will end up with somewhere here. So we are installing on Linux 64-bit. So this is the one we're gonna download. You click that and then you can download. So I already downloaded that. So okay, so the WebLogic. So we need to install the WebLogic 12c. So right now the newest version is our WebLogic 14 something. But we are installing the WebCenter Portal 12.2.1.4. So this is a version. So same version of WebLogic need to be installed because the 14.1 WebLogic is not certified for the 12.2.1.4 WebCenter Portal. So what we need to download is this one. So Fusion middleware infrastructure. So you can see there are some slightly different versions or flavors of WebLogic, but the infrastructure one is the one we need. WebCenter Portal. So we are installing 12.2.1.3. So that's the one we need. 12.2.1. 12.2.1.4. So that's the one we need. Alright. So I already downloaded. So then I transfer to the server. So here is my server. So let's get on the server. Alright, so here's what I downloaded. So JDK, this is the JDK. So Fusion middleware infrastructure, that's a WebLogic. So WebCenter Portal, this one. Alright, let's get started. So first we need to install the JDK. So in order to do that, so we need to go to the place we want to install. So we need to go to the folder where we want to install this JDK. Okay, so I want to install it under here. Okay, so I previously installed. Let me remove that and so I want to install it here. So all we need to do is untar this file. Okay, so I need to type the full path of the JDK download. So we install the JDK. So it's simply you just unzip that, you just untar that. So here let me create a soft link for convenience. So this is optional, but it's just for convenience, because I don't want to specify the version every time I use that. Plus I need to update the Java at some point. So to create the soft link, so I can always refer this the version as JDK. Alright, so let's go back to the folder of the software. Okay, so next we need to install the infrastructure. So middleware infrastructure. So which is the WebLogic. Alright, so I need to unzip that. So you can see it produce a jar file here. So alright, so I just need to run this jar file. It will start the installer. So you can see it does some kind of checking. It checks the CPU, monitor, swap space, temper space, and so on. So it checks the JDK too. So if you don't install the JDK, it might fail. Okay, click next. So let's browse. Okay, so you can install anywhere, but we have a standard, so we're gonna install under /app/product. So since I'm installing WebCenter Portal, so I call it WCP 12.214. So in the future, if I come back, so I know exactly what version by just looking at this folder name. Click next. So it's doing some pre-check. Okay, finished. It's next. So install. Okay, it's 100% now. Let's click next. So this is just a summary of what we installed. Okay, click finish. So we installed our WebLogic. So now we need to install the WebCenter Portal. Okay, so again we need to unzip the software file. So just click yes. So just run the jar file. So this will start the installer. It's doing some checking. Now we'll start the installer. Next. So here we need to select exactly the same folder. So what do we just select for the WebLogic? Alright. So we installed here. Next. Let's click next. Next. Install. It's 100% now. Click next. So this is a summary of what we installed. Just click finish. Alright, so we installed the software. So next we need to run the RCU. Let's go to the Oracle Home we just installed. Go to Oracle Common and bin. Run RCU. Next. Click next. Okay, so here we need to input the information for our database. Our database is installed and running on CentOS 03. So the server we are installing the WebCenter Portal is on the CentOS 06. 1521. So the database could sit on the same server, but at work usually, so we will have a separate database server and separate application server. So this is normal at workplace. Okay. So here we need to specify a prefix. Okay, prefix. So we are installing WebCenter Portal. So I call it WCP dev. Usually you always start with dev. So then after everything fine works fine in dev, then you go to testing, then production. So now here I click the WebCenter Portal, so you can see there are other things automatically get installed. Okay, click next. Okay. So specify a password for the users and so schemas. So if you want to specify different password for each different schema, you can click here. But for this exercise, we just use the same password. Click next, next. So this step is creating the table spaces in the database. Click next. Great. So it will take a while. Okay, it's completed. Let's click close. Okay, so we run the RCU. So now we can create the domain. we need to go to the common bin folder to run the config.sh. So we are creating a new domain. So I'm gonna put this into a different location. Okay, let me give a different name. So since I'm installing WebCenter Portal, so I call it WCP domain. Next. Okay, so here we select WebCenter Portal and page producer and portal producer, analytics. Okay, and next. So if you want to install, select different things, so you can actually come back. You can run the config.sh again. So here again, I want to put to a different location. So we need to specify the password for the WebLogic. So we'll select production. So here we need to provide the database information. So it should be the same as the previous step. So note here, so the default is dev something. So because we specified a different prefix in the RCU step, so we need to specify our prefix. So input the password, click get RCU configuration. And next. So basically it's testing the connection, testing to see if it can connect to the database schemas. So all is successful. Click next. So here we so let me give a different port number. So for simplicity, I just use the same user and password as WebLogic. Click next. We'll add a cluster here. Next. Okay, so we select the cluster and click the arrow. Next. Machine. So let's add a machine. So let me give a different port because I might install some other products on the same server. So click the arrow to move it to the right. next, next, click next, then click create. So it will create the domain. Usually it takes a while. We're gonna come back. Okay. Server personnel. Let's click next. So this is just a summary. Okay, so this is the WebLogic console URL. So if we click that, then we'll get an error because we haven't started. So let's click finish. So now we need to start the servers. So let's go to the domain folder. So this folder is where we create the domains. So this is called a domain home. So before we try to start the WebLogic servers, let's do one thing. So let's create a folder, servers. Okay, inside the servers, let's create the admin server. Inside this, let's create the folder called security. So we need to create a file called boot.properties. So inside the file, we need to specify the username and password for the WebLogic. Okay, so if we don't create this file, so when we start the WebLogic admin server, so it will ask us to input the username and password every time. So we put it in plain text, but the first time it started, it will encrypt that. Alright, so let's go to the domain home. Here, go to the bin folder. So here's the order we start the WebLogic server. So first we need to start the node manager, then the admin server. Okay, let's start the node manager. So let's have it run on the background. Okay, so the node manager is started. So you can see it's started on port 557. So that's the port we specified. Okay, now let's start the WebLogic, the admin server. So let's have it run on the background. Alright, so we can see, so the server is started in running mode. That means the admin server is started. Alright, so let's go to see if we can access that. So the port for the admin server is 1053. So input the username and password. So I click servers. So you can see, So our admin server is running, but our management server says shut down. So because we never started. Okay, let's try to start them. Click yes. Okay, so we'll try to start. So here we can go to the terminal to check the status. So those the starting. Okay, all right. So let's go to again servers. So you can see it automatically created a folder for each server. So let's go to check this WC portal. So you can see there are a few folders created. So let's go to the logs. Okay. So let's look at this .out. Okay. So let's see. Let's use VI to see. So let's try to start. Okay, so we got some warnings because I installed this before. So okay, now so it says the server is in running. So it's running now. So we can see. Okay, let's go back to the browser. Let's see. Okay, so it says it's running now. So both of the servers, so all of the three servers are running. All right. So here is the console, the WebLogic console. So there's another middleware admin interface we can access. So instead of console, we type em. So again, you use the WebLogic username password to sign in. Okay, so we logged in. We can see all of the three servers are up and running. We can browse the tree here. WebCenter. So this WebCenter portion is only here because we installed the WebCenter Portal. Okay, there are a couple of other URLs we can test. So we can test this URL. Okay, so you can see it says if you're seeing this page while web browser, you have successfully set up the Portal Tools application. So that means our WebCenter Portal installation is successful. Alright, so that's it for the installation of WebCenter Portal today. Thanks for watching.